James took out the big scissors and cut the ribbon for the grand opening of NerdWare. A tall, green engraved stone says this: "Not only can NerdWare not make your dreams come true, it replaces the dream world." "How the hell is that possible?" Kevin asked. "Well, let's get in there and find out. That is what we are here for anyway." "Why stand out here when we can go in?" Jennifer asked. "Yeah, but whatever." "Yes, stop being so stupid, Kevin," Valerie says. "Shut up," Kevin says. "Let's go. Are we going to stand here or what?" "You're all idiots," Troy demands. "Who the hell made you leader?" Kevin sensitively asks. "Sorry I'm extremely late, you guys," Thomas is panting. "Okay, now that the whole gang is here, let's move," Troy demands again. When the group of five open the double doors, James, the CEO, is already knee-deep into the tour of NerdWare. Kevin is foolishly holding his arms with an attitude. He thinks that the NerdWare hardware and software are not capable of offering an experience where people who hook themselves up to NerdWare's headgear will be able to control their imagined world. Basically, your mind, the dream world, cannot randomly shift from one scenario to the next unless you are willing to make the shift. That could almost be like controlling time, except it is not real time. There has been a huge amount of controversy over the potential psychological effects of this activity. People have made numerous articles stating that people would get so addicted to NerdWare that it could replace the sports industry, the video game industry, and it is possible that people would stop listening to music. They also think that too many people will unnecessarily lose weight. Well, at least not too many trips will be made to McDonald's or Burger King. Other concerns are productivity and wages. Employees think that they are likely to lose up to half or more of their workers. The reality is that NerdWare is a lot like video games. Not too many people play video games, so it could never become as bad as the employers are making it out to be. More people are too concerned about not being able to enjoy enough of the real world. They're overworked and underpaid, as they like to put it. NerdWare can potentially replace certain industries, but it cannot reshape an entire country into fantasy-loving people. Not many people are into intensive adventures anyway. They're too busy focusing on being normal or some other thing. "Hello, I am Kyle. Do any of you need assistance? We're getting ready to do the tours. You guys can also use the headgear to see how it actually helps you control your dreams and let you think of any universe that you want to create or enter. We also have a physical virtual reality simulator. From there, you can choose which kind of experience that you prefer," Kyle shares. "Well, lead the way," Thomas says, smiling. Thomas rolled his eyes while looking at Kevin. Kevin is wasting his time. He's not even into nerdy things or certain activities that are just out of the ordinary for misfits. You may ask, what is he doing here? Kevin, in his feeble mind, thinks that he has the answers to everything when he does not. Kevin once told Thomas, better yet, argue about how he can get people back to dealing with reality. Thomas told Kevin that Kevin is not smart enough for a task like that. All that Thomas and Kevin ever have are just arguments, although Thomas is usually correct in all his assessments of Kevin. "This is going to suck," Kevin says. "Well, then leave, you moron," Valerie says. "What is keeping you here anyway, Kevin?" Jennifer asks. "I will prove to the world how this helps no one," Kevin says. "Good luck with that," Jennifer replies. "Get your cameras ready. They told us that we would receive great bonuses if we get as much footage, as well as the greatest footage possible," Thomas reminds the group. "What happened to Troy?" Valerie asks. Meanwhile, "Man, this is awesome," Troy yells. "Dude, keep it down, would you?" a guy asks. Troy looks over at the guy and notices that his name is Steven on his name tag. He sits back and laughs at the purple ponies on Steven's pink shirt. Steven is also wearing orange pants with rainbows on them, with hot pink shoes and even more ponies on there. Last but not least, Steven has on a yellow beanie hat with light blue bunnies. "Dude, what the hell is so funny? I'm trying to focus on my magical princess and princess pony world. Now knock it off," Steven yells again. "Hey, look at that guy with the sissy colors." Another guy laughs. "Shut up! That's it. Where's that Kyle guy at? Hey, you, can I get to James? I want a private room with lucid dreaming assistance. If not, I want my $1,200 back," Steven is furious. "No problem. I will contact James now. Come with me," a woman named Lydia motions Steve to follow her over into the direction they must head into. Troy is alone right now, and he is hooking himself up to the lucid dreaming technology. It consists of headgear and a computer terminal that allows him to enter into any maniacal idea that he can think of. Technology like this is for people who cannot figure out how to lucid dream on their own. Traveling at warp speed, Troy is entering into a swamp where angry trolls have kidnapped a group of children. Troy decides to be a mediator. What goes on here? Troy asks. Get out of here, you weird-looking creature, a troll says. Well, you should try looking into the mirror because those blemishes are weird. You look like an actual animal, Troy insults him. Another troll comes in and says,
Well, here we go again. Another one of these stupid humans is treating us like savages.
You are kidnapping children. Now hand them over so I can return them to their parents, Troy demands.
Attack! We declare war!
A troll general screams. With the power of lightning, this ridiculous electric charge makes you electrified, Troy excites himself. The trolls are running everywhere, but are disappearing all at once, except for the general. The general got on his knees and started crying his eyes out. How could this be? Does someone up above love you, you cheating bastard? The general cries. Maybe, is Troy's response before he kills the general with a golden sword. So are you kids okay? Troy asks. He turns around and sees that the children already have ran off. Troy says. He ends up going back into the real world. Now back into the real world where Steven is placed. Steven is finally getting his wish granted. There is one chamber dedicated solely for one person experiencing either a physical world simulator or a mental world simulator. Steven excitedly shook James' hand and ran down the hall towards the giant room. Hey, computer, give me a pony, a pretty pony. I want it to have pink polka dots, and I want it to have green, light blue, and lavender colored stripes. Pretty, please, Steven says in a sweet voice. Simulation, begin.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, pony time, yeehaw!
I love ponies, Steven yells. How old is that guy, a woman asks James. He'll be turning 28. He'll be turning 29 at the end of March, James replies. On the other side of the building, we find Thomas's group being led to a brightly lit outer space simulation chamber. There are multiple glowing round objects hanging from the ceiling. Most have a rainbow color, while a few others are either a light purple, blue, green, or even pink. Let's get inside the ship, Jennifer suggests. Allow me to get the door, Thomas offers. Wait up, guys, Troy runs in. Where the hell have you been? Thomas asks. Well, tested some of the other rooms, gadgets and stuff, Troy explains. So, did you get to explore another universe, Jennifer asks? Yep, Troy answers. The gang is fascinated by the interior of the spaceship. Troy gets into the front seat, grabs the joystick, and starts making shooting noises with his mouth. All that causes the rest of the group to roll their eyes. Troy presses so many buttons that the ship begins to move. Everything in the room begins to change. The ship is floating and spinning slowly. The gravity in the room lessened greatly. Troy, what did you do? Thomas asks. I just pressed some buttons, Troy says. Yeah, but Thomas is frightened. The ship almost flew into one of the round glowing objects. Troy figured out how to fly the ship, and everyone begins to feel safe, sighing in relief. Jennifer holds Thomas's hand and begins to kiss him. He kisses her back and grabs her waist. Valerie is feeling jealous, and her thoughts run like this. What does Thomas see in Jennifer anyway? I'm the pretty one. She is average at best. During the previous year, Thomas broke up with Valerie. The reason for that was because he caught her cheating on him with 3 other guys. It was all happening at once. He heard the story of Valerie stealing her best friend's guy, and then she met 2 other guys. Obviously, her best friend dumped her. The 3 guys found out and dumped her as well. Luckily, the guys fully understood the situation and shook hands. Thomas and Valerie not fighting on this trip is amazing. Jennifer is an intellectual and she's compassionate. These are 2 qualities that brought in a new sun for Thomas. No more stormy clouds or hurricanes to ruin his day-to-day life. Meanwhile, again, we have Steven. Steven is trying to breed unicorns. Steven, as usual, loves rainbows. So they come in different single shades, full rainbows, and even designs. One design in one On one unicorn, it looks like clouds with a bright and shining sun and many more rainbows. The lighting in the room does a consistent color shift through the entire color spectrum. Stephen is dancing up and down, and he is unapologetically letting out his inner child. "Come on, unicorns, let's dance," Stephen says excitedly. "Hey, Steve, put on this cowboy hat," the overly decorated unicorn suggests. The unicorn motions Steve over to get on top of it. The unicorn is commanding the other unicorns to follow it on the run. Steven uses a remote control device to change the room's scenery. It becomes a beautiful desert sun. Cacti sprout out of the floor. Rocks and mountains appear. A magical stream of purple water is on Steven's right. "Remote, make the sun purple," Steven demands. Back into the other room. The spaceship hits one of the glowing objects and an intense fire blossoms. The gang inside are thrown about inside the ship. Luckily, the fire is incapable of penetrating the ship. Apparently, Troy wasn't paying attention, and now he is jolted out of his sleep. The ship is now completely out of control because a fire is brewing in the cockpit. Troy foolishly jumps out to try and catch the rope outside the ship. He misses and hits the floor, and his body twitches. The ship falls and explodes, killing everyone inside. Alarms go off in the building. "James, you're needed near the space simulator chamber," is heard over the PA system. Meanwhile, Steven is enjoying his unicorn ride. He doesn't know that people are scrambling to escape the explosions coming from down the hall. Very soon, the police come in to try and drag Steven out of the simulation. "No! You can't stop my unicorn ride! I can't go back to the real world! Stop!" Steven yells. "It's for your safety, sir." A policeman continues to drag Steven. No, I want my unicorns!" The end.